not under the media hype. Maybe they were not maybe playing at top clubs in the Premier League, but they are CMs and they can put in a credible shift in that side. You saw France call back Kante. You saw Germany call back Toni Kroos. You saw them also call back a couple of other seasoned veterans into the midfield. Why do you think they bring these guys back? It's because they have something. Okay, it's one less problem to worry about, one less person to worry about, one more leader brought into the side that can galvanize this team. And clearly England lacked that yesterday. And the fact that it's coming into the press this morning talking about Calvin Phillips, you could have brought him in. Calvin Phillips wasn't injured. You could have brought him in.
If you look at it, the start, Calvin didn't actually play throughout last season. So bringing him in will be a question on the coach. Probably he would have brought in other players that was playing. But he complaining about Calvin. Okay, he didn't
why the name calling then?
He just said that he didn't have a natural replacement for him. So, but no, so the game ended 1-1.
Okay.
So, is this midfield, Rice and Trent, are they working or did they need to change something in that midfield?
Before the tournament, everybody in this show right now said Rice and Trent is the better midfield selection. Everybody on this show said
I wasn't on that
calm
bus.
down. Everybody on this show said Rice
Except
and
me.
Trent. That was what they said.
So, though.
And I said no. Go with Egalaha. Maybe you get a result. You get a free-flowing midfield. Everybody will be hustling for the ball. Perhaps you get the tackles. You move together. Go with a Kobbie Mainoo. And everybody said no. He's too young to play for the side. He's too young to play for the side. Who is leading the Spanish charge? A 16-year-old he has an exam tomorrow. He has an exam tomorrow on Saturday, and he plays. It was after the game, after the first match, and the night before the Italian game. He was doing his homework. Camera captured him doing his homework in the hotel room where he was in Germany, doing his homework to submit, maybe send through PDF email. Yeah. And he's starting for the Spanish side. Why not give this 19-year-old guy a chance? And I said it, and everybody said, I am advocating for Man United academy graduate. Fine, I have to keep quiet. Now you're seeing the result of it. There's no direct replacement for Calvin Phillips. We all know that. Henderson is playing in Saudi League. He can't bring him in. That's what
he's playing in Ajax.
He moved to Ajax this season.
Now he played in Saudi League. In Ajax, how many games did he start? That's what you ask yourself. He's not getting the numbers. Definitely, they won't call him in. Now I believe there's a Harry Maguire who can at least man the defense. Wait.
Are we having this conversation right now?
I'm getting there. McGay, John Stones can play the DMF position very well. John Stones will play the DMF position very well. Why is Harry not on that team? Partner Harry with Mark in defense, push John Stones forward, throw Trent to the bench. Would have been a better option. So far, that was if you can't go with Rice and Kobbie Mainoo. This is the next available possible option. Yet you threw Harry Maguire off the list. And now you're complaining to the media that you don't have players to play for the team. That's you.
For me, it's never a good sight when you see a manager coming out to wash his linen in the public, literally. Because you had a chance.
I think it's just an excuse.
Yes, everybody can see through it. It's an excuse.
It even makes sense to me what
it's a blatant excuse, and it's inexcusable. It's not admissible in the court of law or wherever.
It's not an excuse.
It's not admissible at all.
It's not an excuse. You give a Trent the chance to play. You know definitely well that in a team filled with Kyle Walker and Trippier, he's never starting.
No,
a team filled with Trent, Kyle Walker and Kieran Trippier, Trent will never start.
For me, why bring three though? I would rather have two fullbacks in that position.
The point of bringing Trent is to play him in the midfield.
That was
he wasn't actually wait. It
doesn't make sense for me. He's not a natural midfielder. He's not a natural midfielder.
Wait, if you look at the number he was given on this team, it's number 8. It shows you that he was brought in to play. Even when they was listed, he was listed as a midfielder.
But you see the way the game unfolds now, You play players in position, you give them matching instructions into the game, but as the game unfolds, they show you their hand. They show you their hand by what they do when they have possession of the ball. They show you their hand by what they do when they don't have possession of the ball. and you can now look at these yardsticks and you can now make a better judgment for yourself. Trent has never stayed in that holding midfield position. He doesn't sit in one place. He doesn't like to sit back.
And yet he doesn't create chances.
And he doesn't create chances. So for crying out loud, what is he doing in the starting lineup?
No.
Just bear with me here. If we had a Calvin Phillips in that side and he's playing side by side with Trent, let's say Declan Rice is not available, let's say Phil Foden is not available, and you want somebody to just meander up forward and see if they can do anything for you, I would give you a half a chance of getting away with it, but you can't get away with it in this competition against these teams with this kind of formation. It doesn't work any way you look at it.
I think he's not talking about the cap. See, I think everybody is mentioning Calvin Phillips.
Let's even not talk about that.
He's not talking. No, yeah, wait. That's where I'm going to.
Because if you have Trent there, and you're utilizing him for his attacking prowess,
yeah, exactly.
That's we would understand. But you can't have him and Declan Rice. Everybody in that midfield is attack minded. Nobody is thinking DM. Nobody is covering the back too.
We're talking about Calvin, who is not on the list. He's not talking about the Calvin that just played last season and last 2 seasons. So he's talking about the Calvin that played for Leeds United.
Yes,
it's not the Calvin that played for Man City, because the Calvin that played for Man City is a total flop. Quote me anywhere. He came to West Ham United. His first game.
He didn't play his first game for Manchester City.
Man City 2 seasons now he's not played for Man City. Now he came to West Ham United at the end of the season, perhaps the summer January winter transfer window, and look at what happened. His first game for West Ham United, he considered a blunted error that led to goal 4 matches in a row. As a DM, you're making mistakes. You're making mistakes that considered you a goal, and you didn't win that game.
Let him finish.
And now, if you are a coach,
let's not forget that this is the same Calvin Phillips that England national team made.
Okay.
Yes, because he had a phenomenal season at Leeds. He went away with England. He got over 30 pounds weight while with England, and couldn't shake it off in pre-season with Man City, and was relegated to the bench. Was relegated to the bench. It's team side. Because this would not have happened if there was no international friendly or flurry of matches, the UEFA Nations League, if he was sitting in pre-season with the Manchester City team set up.
Quick question. Why did other players on that team not get extra weight? Harry Kane was on the team.
Yes.
He didn't gain extra weight. Rashford was on the team. No extra weight. Every other person, Foden and the rest of them, were on the same team sheet. Yeah, they didn't get extra weight. It's discipline. It's personal discipline.
It's discipline, exactly.
He went to West Ham United. 4 starting matches. He made errors that led to goal, and West Ham lost.
What were you expecting? He hasn't played.
And they lost their chance.
He didn't play a full season prior to that. What were you expecting? And they lost their
chance to qualifying for Europe.
And
the manager is leaving.
I am blaming lawyers.
And you're telling me now that if you're a coach, John, believe me, you're blaming
lawyers.
If you're a coach, you will never call Calvin.
Wait, not calling Calvin is the right choice. Let's not even go there.
Granted.
But I understand that what the mistake that I think that Woodgate made is that he could have found a similar player and brought into this team. Because if you notice, once the English team, he lists his English team for any friendly, the first time in that midfield is Calvin Lewis. He loves that guy. But unfortunately for him, he's not available. For what he would have done throughout this whole 1 or 2 seasons is to look out for similar players. They mustn't be playing for match. The problem with this English coaches, they keep looking at Manchester United,
Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool.
There are players who can do that job
similar qualities.
In England. There are players who can do that job overseas. There are also players who can do that job on that bench right now in the competition. The question is he going to be willing to bench Trent? Because he has to bench Trent to save the competition. Let's not forget, let's put things in perspective now. He is on the last year of his contract, so this is your last opportunity to win something with these lads and move on, or win something with these guys and get a better contract. So everything now is in his court right now, and the FA, they are just watching him, point blank right now.
I think that this English team now, what would they do? Because they are now losing this favorite tag. Everybody is watching them. Look at the stats in this game. It was almost 50-50. In fact, at some point, Denmark was outplaying them. Like they were pressed, they had more shots on target, they had more ball position. So are they still the favorite to win this game? Is if we start get the right person to take them to this final?
Every player in the Denmark side, every midfielder in the Denmark side,
they were running.
Every midfielder in the Denmark side had at least 2-3 chances created, had 4 shots on goal.
7 shots on target, 16 shots in total.
Now, that's what I'm saying. Every midfielder in that game had at least 2 shots on goal. They attempted to shoot the shot on goal twice. Every midfielder in that team. And you ask yourself, why wouldn't they be in the write-up? Or why wouldn't they be in the list of players to win?
You have to give it to Denmark, for not letting the situation get the best of them, for keeping their heads, and for giving a good acquittance of the team side. The way they played, if you look at right from the midfield, the pairing of what's his name now, Højbjerg and Herman. These guys are, basically players that people don't look at in the Premier League or rate them so much, but they've done a good job. But the bottom line now is that if you look at that game yesterday, there are 2 decisions that didn't go in England's favor. Number 1, playing Trent in that position. That decision was a bad decision. Number 2, benching Foden instead of benching Bellingham when Bellingham wasn't clearly firing on all cylinders in that match. No, he was subbed off, and this guy was led to play the full 90 minutes. He should have been taken off. So you look at it, he's going to come back to haunt Southgate right now.
Everybody knows what they're looking out for in a team. Everybody knows what they're looking out for a team. So let's not go there.
Okay, before I ask you about him substituting Harry Kane, because that was a mistake for me. Hi guys, we are live on YouTube at Volt FM Sports, and we are having comments. You can join us live and drop your own comments. We'll be reading it on this show. Emeka Edirin say, good morning everyone. He always says Southgate is confused. How can he say England has not found a replacement for Calvin Phillips? Do you understand? What do you guys think about? Because for me, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
There is a lot of CMs, a lot of DMs in English Premier. Are you saying that out of the 20 teams, even Division 2, you can't find a similar player like that?
In Coventry, there are 2 players that could take his place. In Coventry. In Sunderland, there's 1 player that could take his place. I'll go on with clubs that has players to take Calvin Phillips' place, and yet they're not being called to the national team. In this starting lineup, John Stones could do a better job than Calvin Phillips.
Abi?
John Stones could do a better job than Calvin, and yet he's not starting there. He's starting in defense.
Thinking,
let's not even get into the likes of Adam Watson. Let's not get into the likes of Conor Gallagher or Kobe Mainoo that are in the bench there looking for a looking.
Emeka Edirin insists Trent is not a midfielder. He can't survive there. He should sit on the bench. Southgate should play Declan Rice and Carragher or Mainoo. So I think it's a right choice. For me, I think I'll go with no. So him saying that let's bring in Mainoo in this team, because that he's young doesn't not really necessarily mean that he can't play. Look at the Spanish team. These young players they are 2 wingers. They are actually playing very well. So I think this experiment with Trent should end for me. But we'll be looking at what Southgate will do in their final game.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you the final, before I continue with the comment, let me ask you the final question about this English team. Him removing Kane. When a team is looking for a goal, it shows you the mentality of the coach. For me, if you are looking for a goal, you remove your top striker that scored you the first goal. For me, why not bring in another striker and drop Kane back? Let him be a supporting striker.
For me, the solution was not taking Kane off. The solution was not also dropping him into the midfield. The solution is to invert that formation to a 4-4-2. Bring in Anthony Watkins to play up front with him, and then you bring in another winger into the flank to set out that midfield into a midfield 4. You can have Declan Rice, Jude Bellingham. You can also have Phil Foden and one other player in the flank there to complete the setup. Now, the only reason why you will be taking Kane off is if Kane is maybe if he's injured or he's tired or he's not
what
fully
he just
fit.
said now, John, will never work.
If
you
work.
coach anywhere, what he said now will never work.
There are coaches that have made it work.
Only Watkins
Southgate
and
can
Kane.
make it work.
No, see, Watkins is a top man. He's a striker. He strikes the ball well. But if you look at the creative...
Did you see him for Aston Villa this season?
Yes, but I'm talking about if you look at the creative nature of Harry Kane, he could play that 8 very well.
They have similar play style, man.
I understand.
They have similar, exactly the same play style, exactly the same. Both of them. So you can't bench one. You can't play the both of them.
You're getting it wrong now.
You can't play both of them with the same set of
you
instructions.
can play
Both of
both
them
of
will
them
leave.
in that attack and then have 4 men in the midfield. Or better yet, you can do one better, take care of bringing a Cole Palmer who can also contribute in that side.
Okay, Emmanuel Okitipi is saying Bellingham, that is Jude, is always going to get the edge because what he brings to the team in a second. Because he can't bench him, that's what he's saying. He cannot actually remove Jude from that team. He's saying that John Stone in the midfield is an option, but not with Southgate, who is still shockingly keeping his job. Everybody say Southgate. I think England probably they believe in Southgate. They want him to stay and build a team, but obviously it's not working. And I think that this is his last tournament. If he does not win anything in this tournament, I think he's
You
going.
know, you can't blame England. Look at the laundry list of managers
yes,
they've had before he came in.
Emmanuel is also saying that removing Kane was not the issue. He needed a striker who sits there as Oli Watkins. He needed somebody that would be there.
Pack the balls in the 18.
And stay in the, because the problem with Kane is that he drops deep almost all the time. So he needed a striker.
And when you transition the ball into the 18, there's nobody there to finish.
Kane
and
drops
that's
deep.
because he dropped deep.
Kane's drop deep because there was nobody creating chances. Oli Watkins can also drop deep. But when going into the pitch, you see coaches and players have a conversation. It's a different set of instruction. So please help me stay in the box. I know you like to drop deep, but as I said, you can't start the both of them.
No, the problem is that when you have, for example, if you have a Messi in your team, you don't actually tell Messi will tell you when he wants to play.
Definitely not.
I'm telling you. You can tell him, if he tells you that he wants to drop deep, you will not tell him go and stay in the box. This is Kane's style of play. We are seeing it with Tottenham, so we are seeing it with Bayern Munich. In this Bayern Munich team, there is a point he took ball from the midfield and shot that ball
from the halfway line. Yes.
You see, that's his style of play. But I think that both of them can.
And he also gets in on the goals too, so you can't blame him for that because he also helps the team on a whole.
So,
but that's where you need an Oli Watkins to just be in that position to receive service.
We are still getting comments on our YouTube channel. Remember to join us. You can subscribe to on Vote FM Sport. That's our YouTube channel. And Emmanuel Okitiki is still saying, John, he's talking to you, John. That midfield is extremely light in the midfield. He said their formation is extremely light. There is no power. There is nobody to hold that midfield. You can talk about Rice, but everybody knows that Rice likes to move forward. He doesn't like to sit back. So they need actually the DM. I think they should bring this young lad inside that team. For me, I think so. What do you think? I think they should bring him in. That's the only solution to this thing.
If for the next match he's going to experiment with tactics again, this is what I advise. I am always thinking outside the box. I'm always thinking crazy. But experiment with tactics. Conor Gallagher, Kobe Mainoo, bench the other two players. Now maybe you could start an Anthony Gordon on the flanks. Leave your Saka where he is. Don't touch him. Gallagher,
Starboy.
Gallagher, Kobe, midfield. Jude Bellingham starts in front. Then Anthony Gordon's.
So
Saka and
Rice.
Kane. Take off the rest of the players except for Jude. I said I think crazy. I don't know why, but I think crazy. You try this out for the first 50 minutes of the game. 50 minutes of the game. If you don't get a result, sign a resignation immediately. Because these players are not willing to play for you.
Okay, we are still getting comments. Emeka Ejiri is still saying midfield without power. It's over. Esther Divine, good morning, sports crew. Esther Divine is also saying England was so poor once again. I don't think that they have really played well in this tournament. Even their first game, they didn't play well. Esther Divine is still saying, why are they keeping Cole Palmer on the bench? We'll come to that. You know, we are arguing about it off camera. Why is he not playing Cole Palmer? And he's also saying, Emmanuel is also saying, Carragher and Mainoo and remove Rice. Okay, he's asking a question. Carragher and Mainoo and remove Rice. That's for you now. So
I said experiment. Since you're experimenting, since you're experimenting,
no coach in this life. I don't care. We put Rice on the bench and play. It's a lie. It's not possible. It cannot even work. Even in your dreams, it cannot work.
Where was Rice playing before he moved to? Because this is also coming because of people that just saw Rice play maybe the last 2 seasons.
He was the captain of West Ham. He was playing well.
He was playing well.
Yes.
Before being the captain of West Ham, where was he playing? He was being tested as an academy guy.
You want to? I don't know. I don't like where you are trying to go in this conversation.
It's a test.
But
it's a test, and you know that these players are good. You know that these players in their own right are good.
see putting
You will
Well,
not-
you
on the
can't
bench is
start
possi-
them.
it's
You
not
can't
possible.
start them in that side. You have to play one player, maybe a Declan Rice or maybe someone else in that position, and you bring one of them in.
That's the
And then
thing,
you
you have to play
transition a
Rice.
second guy in the second
Now,
half.
finally, guys, I'll start with you now. So, Cole Palmer
Mm.
is the English young footballer.
Don't ask me that.
Let
I
me
know where
land
you are
first.
going. Don't
Let
ask me
me
that
land.
question.
Let me
Don't
land.
ask me that question.
Cole Palmer is the wait now.
I'm
Cole
listening.
Palmer is the young footballer of the year, English young footballer of the year. Everybody was expecting him to start because of his statistics. But
Yeah.
obviously, the coach doesn't even trust him. He wasn't even introduced when they were looking for a goal because everybody was expecting, if we are looking for a goal, we should put in a Palmer. But he didn't. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Jude Bellingham is the second best player in Spanish La Liga.
Okay,
Phil Foden is the best player
in England, yes.
in England. I'm giving you a list. Anthony Gordon is the best. What's it called? Breakthrough talent for Newcastle. And yet these people are the first two that won awards are starting. You can't put a Palmer there. Now the best breakthrough talent is on the bench. And nobody is complaining because what he's playing for Newcastle. And yeah, because Kopama is playing, was an academy graduate because he was an academy graduate for Man City and he's playing for Chelsea.
You know, it's funny.
he has
it's
15
funny.
he has
it's funny,
15 penalties.
It's funny how one
has
person
15
can be two-sided
Let's start the
in a
fight.
single conversation.
He has
It's funny
15
how somebody can be advocating for a minor, crying and dying for a minor to be in the match,
And
and
he's
he's
not
still
supporting Palmer.
antagonizing
Because people play his
another young
position.
talent
Because
as
people
well.
playing his position are not playing better. You can't take away a Jude Bellingham and bring in a Palmer because you know Jude is getting the results.
What results, for example? What result? What result did he put in? What did he put in
Yesterday,
yesterday?
Jude created 4
What,
chances.
what performance did he put
Yesterday,
in
he
yesterday?
created 4
How many
chances.
goals did he get in?
Yesterday,
How
he
many
didn't get a
assists
goal.
did he deliver?
First match, he
Which
got a
of
goal.
these things were transferable on the data sheet?
First match.
Which of them was
1-0
transferable?
win.
Let's talk about
1-0
yesterday's
win,
match, brother.
England.
Let's
Jude
talk
scored.
about. Let's talk about
Yesterday, he
yesterday's
created
goal.
chances. He created chances.
How
He
many
didn't
of
get
them
on the
were
score
buried?
sheet.
Okay, guys.
Is it his fault that Harry Kane
What
didn't
was
bury
his
those
player
chances?
rating?
4.
Over what?
Over 10.
Over
I
5
don't-
or over 10?
I don't
Then
care.
what are we talking about? Bench the man for crying out loud. Put somebody that can get
Now
you
you're
results.
saying bench demand that got results, and yet the media is also criticizing
Bench
TTK.
the man. See,
What
I
I'm
believe
saying, guys.
in one thing, right? As it
John.
comes to football, after you look at results and you look at the data, you look at the achievable, the things you can control. This guy has put in a stellar performance in the first match, performances in the qualifiers, but no one person is bigger than the team.
Okay.
If you're giving a performance,
No
they will
one
play
person is
you.
bigger than the team.
See what I'm
At
saying?
the moment you see that his performance is dropping, his head is dropping, he's not being in that frame of mind to deliver for you. You bring in somebody who is sitting on the bench there, because that guy who is sitting on the bench there, who is warming that seat, could be the person keeping you in the job if he comes in and get the goal.
See what I'm saying? I'm not even saying Palmer should start. I'm saying
I'm
that
not
if
saying
you are
Palmer should start
if you are
either
chasing a
too.
game, that you should push Palmer. Okay, let's do some comments on our YouTube channel. SNDFI is saying, hello sir, you can't compare Anthony Gordon to Cole Palmer.
Thank
His
you.
disgrace. Check it, sir.
Thank
It's
you.
talking about you.
Yo, look at it here. Gordon does not play from the middle. He plays from the flank. Foden is doing a fantastic job at the flank. He's not yet excelling yet. Now move Foden to the middle. Play Gordon from the flank.
I
You
said
get
this
a
yesterday
result.
or day before
Now,
yesterday,
you don't need to
and you were
introduce-
roasting me in
you
the
don't need to-
studio.
you don't need to
move Foden
introduce-
to the middle, and
and
where will
bring
you put
in-
Bellingham?
And I said,
Move Foden
I
to the
said,
middle. Where will
when
you
you're
play
making-
Bellingham?
when you're
now?
making a sub,
I said that a couple of days back, and you were
when you're
bringing down
making when you're
the
making
hair
a
dryer.
sub, you take away a Foden. I have a problem with it. He's trying. He's coming to the midfield to create chances. He's one of the best creative minds in that midfield.
Okay.
Now bring him into the midfield fold. Maybe I might just agree with John there. I'm bringing an Anthony Gordon.
You like this Gordon too much.
on the flank.
They gave you money for
No,
promotion.
see, if you see players that
You
do
collected
well,
money for promotion. I don't
there's no way
understand
you
this
tell me.
Gordon's-
If you see a player that does well, observe him for 3 games, 6 games, not ending of the season when everybody is going on injury. Beginning of the season when the season is still hot, when everybody is still trying to look for their final position, because when you get your result for your best position is in the first 18 games of the season, or perhaps the first 20 games of the season. So in that first 20 games, you see a player perform. Not somebody that at the ending of the season, the last 18 games of the or the last
Obama has been performing
18
since
from
he
where?
joined the team. Come on,
Calm
let's
down on
not
that.
let's
Okay,
not.
let's go
calm
to
down.
our YouTube
Remember,
channel
you
and-
said they need to have 9 to 12 weeks. He took his 9 to
Okay,
12
It
weeks
took
and then
20
he
weeks.
started
It took
performing.
20 weeks. 20 weeks
Don't
was
say
just
that,
too
that's
much.
Let's
cold,
see some
man.
of our comments. Esther Divine is saying Jude is good, no doubt. I feel yesterday he would have come off and Kopama would have done a better job. He would come in and do a better. I think so because Jude, if you look at Jude in this game, he was somehow off. You'd have actually introduced.
You saw it.
Kopama
You saw
and
it in
come
the
in.
Champions League finals too.
Emmanuel is saying no matter what, Jude is the second name after came on in the starting lineup.
Bam! Thank you.
I'm
Brother,
not saying
God
you should
bless
take
you.
him off the starting
Wait
lineup.
now,
I'm
let
just
me finish
saying,
with the comment.
begs the man mid-game. Real Madrid
Okay,
did it in the Champions League finals.
They did not.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch
In the
that match?
semi-finals, why did they not
They
take him off?
benched the guy in the finals for crying out loud. Baba was sitting on the bench watching
after
the match.
60 minutes.
What are we saying, man?
Guys, Emmanuel Okitibi is saying Gordon is the best option aside Foden from the left. He can carry the ball like Saka and does like Saka does the
You
other side
have
of
the same
pitch.
thing from both flanks, not Foden driving into midfield.
Yes, that's the problem with Foden.
Of
He keep actually driving inside the midfield.
play
That's
the
what-
tiki
what
Whose
the
taka.
fault
problem
is that? You have somebody playing in a position where he should be playing, who should be
You want to
brought
bench
back
Jude?
to play alongside Rice.
You want to bench
I
you?
said it, crucify
You
me.
can't drop him
Play
to play.
Bellingham
He no go get
beside
result.
Rice and play Foden in his
We are
native
complaining of
position.
strength. We are complaining of Trent as a defender, not
Play
playing
in
well
his
in
native
DM.
position.
Now. We are complaining of Trent as a defender.
But
not
that's
playing
where
well,
Bellingham
not
plays
playing,
at Madrid.
not
Let's
play- Who?
let's get this thing right, man.
Toni Kroos,
Let's get this thing
Valverde,
right.
Bellingham.
Let's
Yes.
get it right.
Tony, Valverde, Bellingham. You will not see him with Tony or anybody. Or maybe
He
you see,
doesn't play as
or maybe if Tony
He not
is
pattern him.
injured, you see Kamavinga, Chouameni, Valverde, Jude. Jude is always in front.
Yes, he's always a striker.
You will not see him come down to that CM or DM position. You will never. Not even at the Borussia Dortmund. You will never see him come down there. So it's always Jude. Tony, Valverde, Jude in front. So in England, I think it's still Rice, any other person. Jude should still play there. Maybe in the 60th minute, you
So
change.
finally, let's end
Finally,
this.
agree
Let's-
with me.
I didn't
Um,
agree
Let's
with
end
you.
this England
Yes, you
matter.
did.
I know that if I start this England matter, people will fight you tomorrow. So do you think now England can reach the final of this Euros, John?
When I see their starting lineup for the next match, we'll know.
Probably you experiment again.
They've been doing this narrow escape to the finals. They are getting there this time around again.
Okay, guys, we're going to go into a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about other games that happen in the Euros 2024.
Stay plugged into the flow. Follow Volt FM on Facebook at Volt 1043 FM. Let's vibe together.
Volt 104.3 FM.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the show. You know you can join us on live now. We are live now on YouTube at Volt FM Sports. You can join us live. Drop your comments there. We'll read your comments on this show. Now we are going to open the phone lines for people to call in to tell us what they think about this England game and other results in this Euro 2024. The numbers to call is 0706 048 5853 0706 048 5853. So the other results was played yesterday. Italy versus Spain. Spain winning that game 1-0.
As I predicted.
You predicted that Spain will win. And so what do you think that Spain are through for the knockout stages now? So what do you think that will happen about that game? Exactly. It was a close game, but unfortunately for Italy, they lost that game. What do you make of this game? Do you think that Italy still have the chance to qualify, or Spain now the favorite to win this tournament?
Sure, one of the credible points that was made in our analysis yesterday was that Italy have a solid defense and they have solid midfielders up front blocking that defense. So kudos to them for making it a tough encounter. But then kudos to Spain for breaking through that defense and getting the goal and being able to qualify into the later stages of the competition. Now, talking about Italy, Italy need to go into their next match and pick a win or a point.
A point to have a chance to qualify.
Yeah, and have a chance to qualify. But they need to pick it. They need to make it a win so that they have and go into the later stage of the competition in higher spirits and, you know, lift themselves, you know, from that loss yesterday.
So, Nosu, what do you think Italy now? Italy they are not part of the favourites, but they could surprise you because they are the defending champions. Do you think they have what it takes to defend this title now?
This was the same pass they took last time. Draw, win, draw, 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 draw. Then they met Spain. I think yesterday's game was just revenge for knocking out Spain in the last edition of the Euros 2020, where Spain, they played a 1-1 draw on full time, and Spain got knocked out with the penalty in the penalty shootout. So this was just a revenge of that one, and Spain know that these people want to take the game to the last minute of the game, and they didn't allow that. You saw how Italy continued to press, and we saw Morata, or perhaps Inaki, what's it called again?
Nico Williams.
Nico Williams missed that chance where he was allowed freedom to jump freely in the air. He was alone in the box, and he was jumping. It was a free man. You have to jump and miss that kind of chance, man. It tells you that some people are just gifted with scoring with their heads, and Morata was in that position. Morata was telling him, "You
have to score.
You messed up, and you have to just score. This is just a blank check. You have to just sign your name on it." You understand? But it tells you that the Italian side, they have been doing this before. Play, lose, draw.
Let me
get a result.
Let me call out some stats in that game, because Spain, for me, are one of the favorites. They had 20 shots on target, 20 shots in the whole game, 9 on target. They had only 4, 1 on target. They had more possession, 590 passes. So Spain are now favorites, part of the favorite. They have the young lads to drive them in. But so do you think they can go all the way with these their young wingers? Go all the way, because Williams was the man of the match in this game. He's another young lad. Do you think that these young players now can take them to the final hurdle?
Yeah, they can. Let's not forget a certain young man in the center of the box. They're talking about Robin Lenormand, who put in a nice performance for Spain yesterday. A lot of people were complaining the absence of Nacho alongside Laporta. What would the defense line look like against an Italian side, you know? But he acquitted himself fine. And if you look at also the star man in the midfield, they're talking about Rodri holding everything together, making
he's the master.
Yeah, he's the phenomenal player. If you look at him, they had a good game, and I think they have what it takes now to win the tournament, go far. My only question mark is when they get against an opponent and they are not getting in on the goals. They're creating chances, but not having somebody clinical up front to bury them. Who are they going to call? Because Alvaro, I wouldn't sign Alvaro Morata even if you gave him to me on a free for any club.
Why?
Even if you gave him to me on a free for any club.
I want to
Break
know why.
my heart.
So they need to make sure they have a credible policy in place for someone who can come in and do a job in the attack, because
There is a
games are going to
Joselu in
come.
that team.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 headmasters as your strikers, which tells you that you can get goals anytime you flip a finger. You get goals as far as there are people creating chances. We both know that. So I don't see why you say Morata is not the right person to convert those chances, because he's living the dream of every other player. He's played for the big clubs in
All the big clubs in Europe.
All the big clubs
Juventus,
in every big league.
Chelsea,
So
Atletico
Juventus,
Madrid, he has played
At
everywhere.
the end of the day, when you stack up his numbers side by side, there are players that he pales in comparison to. Okay,
Name them.
let's not
If
forget
it's
that.
about numbers, his numbers. I don't think he has scored even 25 goals in a season, like league goals in a season.
I'll just leave
I don't
it at
think
that.
So. But let's go to our Facebook page. Their comments are dropping about this Italian game. SLFI is saying Italy have a big chance to qualify, definitely. But let's see the round of 16 or the 16 games, then we'll see who goes to the final. So he said let's wait to see when everybody qualifies. Then Emmanuel is saying Italy is a strong core. I like how they rally around the strength of Jorginho to make it tough, because you see, Jorginho is a master. He's one that sees deep and controls the midfield.
Yeah.
So he was the one that every pass was going through him, and he actually played well, even though that he was actually the opponent is facing, he cannot do it alone. It was tough for him, but they rallied around him. That they made some few passes, but Spain was stronger in that game. So
Kudos needs to go to him
team.
and also to Nicolo Barella to put in a good
They run. I like Italian team. They run around too much.
Yeah.
They hustle for the ball.
Thank God you're talking about Italian team. Let me roast somebody. There's always somebody to criticize in every performance. if I say this now, you say he was a player. Don't. You start. Gianluca, I'll call his name. Gianluca Scamacca. They try.
You were hyping him just yesterday.
I didn't hype him. I never.
He was hyping him just yesterday.
You could bear me
He
witness
said that they have a Scamacca. When I was saying that they were going to win them 3-1,
you
was
bear me-
saying, they have a Scamacca, they have a this, they
You
have
bear
a
me
this,
witness
they
that
have a
I-
this.
Godwin.
And he was hyping Scamacca yesterday.
Godwin, you bear me witness
How?
that. You bear me witness that.
He changed his
Jesus
mind now. Can't
changed,
somebody change
like-
his
I
mind?
did not change my mind.
in a flippant second. Come
Before
on.
the first game, you
Okay.
said something about Scamacca, and I told you he would never get on goal. You saw his numbers for West Ham. He went back to Atlanta, and you are seeing his numbers. He's not a striker that will get you goals. But yesterday I was thinking, okay, he will just be there. I wasn't saying that he will be there to create chances or score goals. I was saying his presence there will just scare off defenders to not move on. And you saw it. He's very there kind of affected, what's it called? Kamaha not moving forward. But yet he had a sitter twice.
And he missed.
And yet you're telling me he came to West Ham and he's not a player like I dey cry now, but I know if you talk anything.
Emmanuel Okitibi on our YouTube channel is saying Morata is still never a threat to me. His start does not scare any defender.
Thank you.
You go to Juventus, first season you score 6 goals. Second season you score 10 goals.
He's a striker that will get you goals when there are goal droughts.
Goal drought.
Yes.
So goal drought that you now score like 12 goals in the whole league
When
season.
there is normally, say it just like at for World Cup 28, I go see anytime you talk about strikers that don't score goal, I'll reference it to 2018 World Cups. Who was the striker for France? Giroud. How many shots on target did he have that season?
He didn't even actually score more
He
than 1 goal.
didn't even score.
Oh, he didn't score.
Shot on
Okay.
target so far in the whole tournament was just 2.
No, they didn't really have an option. Because,
Why?
Wait, Benzema was off because of his scandal and all that. He wasn't...
Yeah, Giroud was the star man.
What I'm saying that if you are going there, if Benzema was available, Giroud is not starting.
Calm down now. Again, it's now maybe you understand.
Okay, maybe you understand.
Some strikers just did there to cause distraction.
I don't want
this
those type of strikers
Emmanuel is
in my
saying that-
side.
Harry
Does not
Kane
scare
is one
anybody.
of those strikers that will just want to cause distraction. At some point, quite in the score goals.
In the
But
score,
Harry
is
Kane,
covered.
he
Not
has
If they
his
possible.
cause
record.
distraction.
He has his numbers. That's what
He
I
has
was
his
saying.
numbers.
That there are strikers that
Do you know
he
some
pales in
defenders?
comparison.
Some defenders will tell you Harry Kane, or they'll tell you who's your how they take answer for those shows that time. If they watch all these shows for YouTube, who is your greatest opponent, your best defender you've played against? Some players will call Vidic, some players will call Ferdinand, some players will call Roy Keane. Fine. You know what some of the current players are calling? Morata, you know why? They say he's very sneaky. He's more sneaky than Suarez.
Slicker than we know the score goals.
because he go run, you go follow and run, you go see na him be the target. Another person go enter there, go score the goal.
I think I'm going to go with him that I don't think that Morata is somebody you should be scared of if you are a defender. And more comments are coming in. Ese Divine is saying, Mr. Emma, okay, he was talking to Emma. Okay, first of all, Emmanuel said, as far as I'm concerned, Scamacca is just an unlucky Morata. No
Wow.
difference.
That's
Both
the
of them are similar. Both of them just miss chances, and I don't know how you describe it. They are slick. What are they?
Scamacca is not slicky. Scamacca is not slicky. He's just born to miss chances as a striker.
And Ese Divine is now attacking Mr. Emmanuel. He said, Mr. Man, know how you can compare Morata to Scamacca. Not fair now. He's coming. He said that, but I think he said that Morata is better.
Morata is far better. far better. I'll give
how many goals better though?
How many goals? Well,
more than 20.
How many goals?
But
7 careers.
if you look at Morata, it's like he has been there forever. Because he started as a young player, he started moving around like.
What does that translate to
You
at
know
the
that
end
he
of
played
the
the
day,
Champions League
brother?
final with Barcelona.
Atlanta.
No,
I'm sorry, at Atletico Madrid. He played Champions League final with Barcelona. He played with Atletico
played
Madrid.
there.
He
What
played
does
with
it
Juventus.
translate to at the end of the day?
He's been around. So okay, Emmanuel Okitipi is saying Giroud in the France team, he is perfect plan. He's the perfect plan. He sits and brings the intelligent boys around him. Do you understand? He sits down and every other because
Look
of
at
that.
the run. I will give him a
Mbappe
pass.
and Griezmann, they actually did well because
Yeah.
of he
Yes.
gives them the chance to perform well. Okay. Emeka Idiri is saying Scamacca and Morata no join abeg. This one no even like any of them. Both of them no.
But at least you just give some Morata small respect. Small
Yes.
flower.
Emmanuel is also saying comparing the teams and caliber of players Morata has played with, he has no right to have a false start. That's another thing. He has played for all the big clubs, Chelsea, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. But if you look at his stats, you just score goals here and there, and that is it. So that's all. Let's move on because if we stay with this Morata guy, we will not talk about anything. There are other games that we play today. 2 o'clock is Slovakia versus Ukraine. 5 p.m. Poland, Austria. Then the big one for today. We are going to talk about that one briefly before we move to the Copa America, because Copa America have started already by 1 a.m. in the night. So we'll talk about that. So let's finish with the Euros 2024. Netherlands versus France is the big one. In fact, it's the biggest game one of the biggest game in this tournament. So how do you see this particular game? Because you know Mbappe has his marks now, so he is going to be firing. So do you think who do you think that will win this game? How do you think that this game will play out, John?
It's a close one, but I'm giving it to France.
You are giving it to France. Why?
I'm giving it to France because they have the firepower, they have the players to be able to turn any situation around. I'm giving it to them also because they have an X factor, which is Kylian Mbappe in the side that can, you saw him in the finals against Argentina in the World Cup. When they needed a goal, he got it. When they needed another goal, he got it. When they needed another one, and still they didn't win it, but then he's that guy that can give you goals. So if they're playing a slugfest against Netherlands who have firepower in their side too, and they need goals, you have somebody in the side who you can count on, who can deliver for the team big time.
Also, Mbappe, before the tournament, he came on in the press conference and said that the Euros is harder than the World Cup. I think it's a personal opinion, though. Everybody came and was giving their opinion, but this is what Mbappe said. But if you look at the stats, Mbappe have not scored a single goal ever in Euro. So, do you think it's the right thing to say? Probably taking at the kind of teams they play, I don't know. Do you think it's the right statement to make that the Euros is bigger than the
World Cup? Who do you play against?
You play for all the international champions around the world.
You play against African nations. They don't have good defense.
What
you
are
play
you
against
saying?
Wait. You play against.
What are you saying?
You play against a South American team.
Okay.
That in South America they eat, so they gain extra pounds. You get players in South America gain pounds and all of that. They're not fast enough to catch up. Yes. So when you pace,
which continent has the highest World Cup?
Brazil.
Which continent has that?
South America.
South America.
But
okay.
You call Brazil,
okay.
Uruguay, and this thing.
I want to correct you with that.
No. See, I'm just saying. We are just mentioning Brazil and Argentina and maybe Uruguay. What about Peru? What about Mexico? What about the other players? They gain extra pounds. They were sneaky in the past. Now there's something. What's it called? Owen said. He said they were top players that then would fit into any team, but now they will make the starting 11 for even the smallest team in any club because they need proper athletes. Not then you eat junk, and now South Americans still believe in those strategy of football. So he can come in, outpace them, score goals. He was highest goal scorer in 2018 World Cup. He was one of the highest goal scorers in the 2022 World Cup. Why won't he say that the World Cup is easy? Because he comes into the World Cups, he gets numbers on these other countries in Africa.
I think what you can say, one, the Europeans have one teams representing the World Cup, number one. And number two, if you check the statistics, for example, the Portugal that was champions, that was the Euro champions, they were knocked out by even an African team, Morocco.
2016.
For me, I think Euro. That I'm just giving the reference before we talk about this Mbappe, because he have not scored. He needs to start firing. So do you think it's time for him to get a goal in this tournament?
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're scoring numbers against other countries, it's easy for you. But in a this is what they call domestic league now, national domestic league. It's Europe. Everybody knows your strength. These players are playing with you in your clubs.
Another factor you are not seeing now is that football, as it is, the way it's developed over the years, is you see stronger nations naturally in Europe because their leagues are way better.
Way better, yes.
Definitely, you're coming into a group side. Look at the group side they are coming into. There's Netherlands, there's France. How many times are you drawn into these same types of groups in the World Cup? We have more teams, more club nations from other parts of the world. You don't get to really see this class of opposition until you get to the quarterfinals or the later stages of the competition. So there is some truth to what he said, but however, in this match, he needs to be able to prove himself by getting that goal and been able to contribute with his side.
Okay, we still have more comments on our YouTube channel. Ekitibi Emmanuel is still saying Mbappe is just saying so because he has not scored in the tournament. He can't compare the Euro tournament and to the World Cup. That's what he's saying. Ese Divine, he said Netherlands might shock France today. And everybody is expecting France to win. That's what we are saying. Football is football. Netherlands is still a big nation. If you look at their past records, they have not really done well in tournaments, but they are still a big.
There's this clause hanging on the coach's neck. You know, Deschamps won the 2018 World Cup, and after that, he's not gotten results. After attempting to go for the 2016 Euro 2018 World Cup, he won it, and since then, players just kept misfiring. He keeps rotating a squad, and you ask yourself, is it not the same? Is it not a replica of Southgate? You say no, he's won one trophy.
Okay, so let's get your prediction for this game, France versus Netherlands. What's your score, John?
A win, France.
A win for France.
Yeah, 2-1.
No, so you have I know you have one strange opinion to this.
That will not later manifest.
Yes,
Yesterday manifest against England, though. Calm down. When I told you England will not win the game, but still, this one, I don't know. I can't go with Netherlands. They've got a strong midfield side, but they don't have creativity in that side, except for pace. So I think I won't go with Netherlands. I would go with France. If
you are agreeing today.
No,
okay,
calm down. I will go with France.
Okay.
There's an if now. If Giroud starts, if Giroud or maybe Marcus Thuram starts in front of goal in as a striker, proper striker, then I'll go with France. If Marcus is not starting as a striker or Giroud is not starting as a striker, man, I'm going with a straight draw.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay. Emmanuel, before we move to the Copa America, Emmanuel is saying France to win 2-1. He's also saying that Germany and France, my final pick. Anything outside these two, for me, the flop. Do you understand? He's saying that his final two to reach this final, he's picking Germany and France. Okay, guys, let's move now to the Copa America. Copa America started today. No, we have time difference between us and America. It was played by 1 a.m. in the night. It's strange for Copa America because the host nation is USA. But Argentina and Canada played. They don't do like Europe where the host nation plays the first game. That means the host nation must be in Group A. They just group it randomly. So yesterday, Argentina played Canada in the first game of the tournament, and Argentina winning that game.
And Starman
got Messi got the assist in that game. So generally, how do you see that particular game? I know, John, I know you because I think that yesterday night and you were watching that game. I don't understand. You are awake watching Messi. What happened? What happened in that game?
When you have the GOAT in the side,
you have to watch him. You have to wake up to watch the GOAT.
You know, and this is what we expect. And then you look at someone who I consider the pupil of Kun Aguero also getting in on the score sheet, talking about none other than Julian Alvarez as well. So that's good for him. Also, Lautaro Martinez getting in on the goal.
Yeah, he came in and scored the second goal.
Yeah, it's a good performance if you look at it. But then, what did you expect against the Canadian side? I'll just leave it at that without sounding a bit too brash. But it's a good win, good performances. If you look at the opportunities they had, they created more chances, obviously, thanks to the firepower within the side. They also had a better showing if you look at the quality of the match and the way they acquitted themselves on the pitch. Kudos to them getting it 3 points in that match and then moving on to the next opponent in the group.
So, John, do you think that obviously Argentina should be the favorite? Because if you look at the other teams around them, even Brazil has fallen off. Like if we are talking about when they brought out their list, everybody was shaking their. Even Ronaldo at some point came and said, they couldn't even recognize this Brazilian team. So do you think Argentina has what it takes to retain this title?
Has what it takes to retain it? Very much, yes. Very
but
much,
never
yes.
say never on Brazil, though.
They have the star players, they have the squad, they have everything. But you get something that they forget though.
Okay.
People are forgetting the fact that an Uruguayan side can hurt anybody.
Oh, okay.
A Brazilian side can hurt anybody. So you wouldn't say Argentina all the way. Yesterday against Canada, it's normal. Who they play for Canada? You name 5 players. You name Alphonso Davies. You name Ikone, Jonathan Davis, and maybe Cyril. The rest of the other players in that team are just playing for the MLS. And MLS stars don't really, when they move, we are talking about players moving from Europe to another club and they're taking 9 weeks. MLS players move from MLS to Europe and they're taking 2 years to settle it.
They hardly move.
And yet they hardly move. So
my only bone to pick with the Canadian side is playing Davis in the left fullback position rather than bringing him on for his attacking prowess in the flank.
you can't.
He's
a defender.
Who did they play in
He's
that?
a defender. Forget the fact that
Actually,
they test him up. See, they test him up front and he gets result. Does not mean
Where
he's a
was
defender.
Robertson playing?
Robertson was played as wing back.
Robertson was
They were
playing
playing
in the
They were
midfield.
playing a 3-man flat.
Who was behind him?
They were playing a 3-man flat.
Answer the question. Who was behind him?
Tenny.
So that's what I'm saying.
Look,
Move him into that flank.
In that case, you would
Bring
have to
in
you have
someone
to
else
bring in
into the
somebody.
left full-
You have to bring in a defender, another centre back to keep that position because they were playing Scotland. You won't compare Scotland. Scotland is playing a 3-man flat, and Tenny is playing as a centre back in that game.
But he can switch into that role to cover this guy if he moves forward, and another midfielder can drop back. That's what I'm saying.
They don't have the numbers.
put him
What
there
you're saying now, they
and
don't
give
have
him
that
the
squad.
opportunity to create chances for you.
They don't have that squad. That's what you're saying. The only person that could play
My
there is
question now
Sinclair.
is who is creating the chances for them if you look at this starting lineup, and you can't really pick a name, or rather if you look at the setup. So I would have played him in that position, played somebody credible behind him in that left fullback position, and hopefully get more chances to Jonathan David, who can clearly bury them.
Okay, guys. Obviously, everybody's here. We have to agree that Argentina is the favorite to win this tournament.
No.
Abi? Okay,
I'm saying that
who are your favorites first?
Argentina, of course, but never say never on Brazil because they are still there.
No, so who are your favorite? Who are your favorites to win this
Plenty,
tournament?
Obviously,
Uruguay.
Uruguay.
Give me one.
Uruguay.
With the misfiring Nunes up front.
Not Nunes. I'm talking about. See, say I dey look out for young talent. I be scout. So Pelistri. I be scout. I look out for. When you see young talent, you appreciate them.
And I told you this guy was a pseudo Manchester United fan.
Pelistri. When you talk my United fan, where in the last season be this season play Espanyol.
Where did you come from?
It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is where you play. When you see a player play for a club, a smaller club, and get numbers, you appreciate the player. Pelistri is doing a fantastic job, and
guys.
he should be starting for
Uruguay. There are other games to be played by 11 p.m. 11 p.m. today and 2 a.m. The 11 p.m. game is Peru versus Chile. That's by that one was 1 p.m. 1 a.m. We still say 1 p.m. They are playing the night, midnight. So Chile and Peru, that is 1 a.m. in the night. Ecuador and Venezuela is by 11 p.m. in the night. Okay, that's how we are going to end today's show, guys. Thank you for joining us, and all of our fans, all of our people that are on YouTube. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments for today. We are going to be seeing you guys tomorrow for other preview, and especially this France versus Netherlands. Everybody will be expecting a very, very, very sweet game. So we'll be expecting you. We are receiving calls now. We can't take the calls now. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Please, our YouTube channel is at Volt FM Sports. At Volt FM Sports. Please go there and subscribe. We have a lovely content for you to watch. All the previews, some of the big games previews. We have done the previews. We're there for you to go and watch. Go and see what the guys, me and the guys, what we thought about some of those games. See you guys tomorrow. I am Godwin, signing out.
Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage.
Take a break and enjoy the show.
Sports.
Alex Iwobi gets the ball out to the left-hand side. The delivery comes in. Oh, it's a goal!
Entertainment. News and politics.
Enugu State governors are sentenced to the electricity bill.
Gospel.
And let them have dominion. The kingdom of God is within people.
Awesome programs exclusively on
Volt 104.3 FM.